The Titleist GT drivers are the latest driver to hit the market, but how do they compare to the earlier models that were released this year? Well, I've got the QI10 LS and the Paradigm AI Smoke Triple Diamond, and I'm going to put it up against the Titleist GT3 driver today. How will it compare? Let's find out. Now, when it comes to looks, it's massively important when it comes to driver. You need to like what you're looking down at, especially when you're standing on the tee with a narrow fairway to aim at. So what do we have? Well, in the Callaway AI Smoke, in that Paradigm Triple Diamond head, we have the 360 carbon chassis, and you have a really nice kind of raw carbon finish on the top. Maybe slightly sits a little bit open to the eye, but for someone like myself who maybe plays a draw or their bad shots left, it's going to be quite appealing. Now, if we move on to your TaylorMade QI10, this has got the brand new Infinity carbon crown on the top, and it's got that kind of nice little white alignment there, which helps you kind of line the ball up nicely at address as well. It looks great. It's got that nice gloss finish. It just has that nice kind of premium classic TaylorMade look, which I actually really like as well. It sits quite neutral and looks great at address. All right, moving on to the Titleist GT3 driver. Now, this looks class. You have that amazing gloss finish like we saw on the TSR, but not only that, it looks great behind the ball. Now, to the unseen eye, you've got the new PMP material in the crown there, which essentially is a polymer construction. A little bit different than what Titleist have done in the past. They've always pretty much been a full titanium construction. Not this year. They have gone with a polymer to save weight and redistribute that around the head to give you a top overall performing driver. All right, so moving on into a little bit of a tech overview now. I've obviously reviewed all of these clubs already, so if you want a little bit more in depth into the designs, check out the latest reviews of our AI Smoke QI10 and the GT driver as well. But in the AI Smoke, you have the AI Smart Face, so you've got those mini kind of sweet spots all across the face, which is obviously done through AI design. You've got the changeable weights as well, so you can have a heavier weight forward, which will give you great ball speeds. If you flip it around, put the lighter one forward and the heavier one back, you're going to change the CG and give yourself a little bit of a higher MOI and a bit more forgiveness as well in that head shape. Moving on to the QI10 LS, you have the adjustable weighting obviously here, which is further forward, so you're going to get great ball speed off the face, but you can fine tune it to you. So if you're someone who hits it maybe a little bit closer to the heel or to the toe, so you can place that weight right behind pretty much where you're going to hit the ball 9 times out of 10 to give yourself the maximum distance. You've got the 60X carbon twist face as well. It's a little bit thinner, but it's also more forgiving. So if you're going to hit it a little bit off the toe or off the heel, what you're going to see is better ball speeds and better distances on those miss hits. And then moving into the GT3, you have the adjustable weight track, which is at the front. Obviously in the TSR3, the weight track was at the back. So what this does is it's going to give you maximum ball speed, and you can fine tune it to where you kind of hit the ball across the face. So if you're someone who hits off the toe, you can move it a little bit further more toward the toe side, so you're not going to lose any ball speed, and vice versa if you're kind of towards the heel. But what you also have is the enhanced speed ring and VFT face. So you're going to find a lot more forgiveness across the face, especially on miss hits, which pros are seeing on tour as we speak. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to jump on the Trackman, we're going to get some data and do a big comparison just to see how the drivers compare to each other. Okay, so the fun bit, let's talk about numbers. Now, in terms of dispersion, TaylorMade is in the yellow, Callaway's in the white, and Titleist is in the blue. But you can kind of see it's all pretty level. There's not a huge amount in it. Obviously, the longest one I hit with the Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, they're all pretty much thereabouts. I would say the ones which have gone that little bit further, especially just off those kind of like slight miss hits, has been TaylorMade. But in terms of kind of like consistency in distance and dispersion, you know, your Callaway and Titleist are kind of right there across the board. And TaylorMade, you've just got a couple ones which are further and a few which are a little bit at the back there. But let's talk numbers. Now, starting at the top, we have the AI Smoke. Now, what I would say is, you know, you've got 356 total, 334 carry, but But if you kind of look all the way down, it's like 336, 338. There's not a huge amount in it, and especially like total distance, you got 356, 359. The one that does kind of jump up is obviously the Titleist. So the distance on average that you get from that is really impressive. Ball speeds are fairly similar too. This is where it gets a little interesting. Callaway had the fastest ball speed at obviously an average of 197, Titleist at 196.2, TaylorMade 195, call it 196. But it's the spin rate. Now that obviously plays a massive part in distance as well. So if you're looking to get a little bit more spin, your Callaway AI Smoke is going to give you that, especially in the triple diamond. Obviously with a little bit more spin, you're going to get a bit more consistency as well and a little bit tighter dispersion. You can kind of see that on that table there. Now, if you're looking for a lower spin, this is what I was quite surprised with, was the GT3, but the distances kind of obviously is a result of that, especially on the carry distance, and then your landing angle as well. Now moving into TaylorMade, you've got 2400 spin, so you've got a nice kind of like happy medium, but again, you've got 42 degrees in the landing angle, so slightly higher, launch height, so 135 in comparison to 123, and that lower launching Titleist as well. So what I also really liked with these drivers is the sound and feel. Now with Titleist, you have the brand new proprietary matrix polymer crown, and the sound and feel of it is amazing. It feels like a Titleist, it sounds like a Titleist. You wouldn't even think the crown is a completely different material than what they've had in the past. But it comes off like a bullet, as you can see, it being obviously the longest drive there. But what I also like about the TaylorMade is, I'm a fan of the carbon face. Nice sound, sounds like TaylorMade, feels like TaylorMade. What more do you want? If you're a TaylorMade fan, you're gonna love that. Your Callaway AI Smoke, I'm a massive fan of that AI Smart Face. It comes off like a bullet. The ball speeds are great. You get a nice amount of control and spin, and the acoustics are phenomenal. If you're looking for a driver that's going to give you tight dispersion, great distance, one of these three drivers is going to be absolutely amazing for you. It really just comes down to what you like the look of, what you're searching for. I would say the biggest difference in all of them is going to be the kind of height and spin, and you can see that obviously through the data there. And that's what I found. If I'm looking for a little bit more kind of like a tighter dispersion and consistency where I can kind of control my ball flight a little bit more, I would look at the Callaway AI Smoke. If I was looking for that extra little bit of distance and that lower ball flight, I would be looking at the Titleist. And if I was looking for a driver which gave me a higher launch and kind of like a mid to low spin, you'd be looking at the TaylorMade QI10. Three phenomenal drivers, obviously Titleist's brand new driver. What's been your favorite driver this year? Let us know in the comments below. I've been James from Bunkered. We'll see you next time.